the Yankees. The team they're trying to catch. 1 of 3 at Yankee Stadium. It kicks off a big series, even though it's only July. It's a chance to make up some ground for that division lead. So put on a smile and let's play ball. It's the Orioles on Masson. The Orioles, after a day off yesterday as part of this road trip, start the first of 3 here at Yankee Stadium with a chance to cut into that Yankee lead, maybe get a shot at that division first place spot. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome for the Orioles. As Buck Showalter says, the world's not going to end if they don't sweep or if they are swept, but it sure will make things a whole lot easier in trying to gain the #1 spot if they can win this series here. They had lost 4 consecutive series prior to picking up the series win in Detroit, 2 out of 3 there. They'll try and do at least that here. This season, here are the numbers between these two teams. They have met 10 times previously, and they have split. Take a look at the batting numbers with the Orioles well up in the average, but if you jump down to the run scores, more importantly, the Orioles with the advantage there as well. Runners in scoring position, not even a comparison there. Home run-wise, not a big difference. ERA, good in favor of the Orioles. Yet, it is a 5-5 series, Mike Bordick, so far.
Well, it's been pretty interesting, and the Orioles have had most of their success at home like they have all year long. They're still having some trouble on the road, but it's nice to see them start off a road trip with a couple big wins in Detroit. Winning that series was huge, and they're going to have to turn that around and do the same thing here. They can't think about sweeping. They have to think about winning the series. That's going to be the most important thing for them, one game at a time, especially on the road and especially in these tough series. They got to take on the Yankees here at Yankee Stadium, then down to Tampa, another very tough series with interdivision rivals. So, you know, the Orioles have been playing some pretty good baseball. It's nice to see them turning around their runners in scoring position. They really had a big outburst in Detroit that last game, and I think that's going to help build their confidence. Offensively, they're swinging the bat much better. The Yankees have had some recent problems with runners in scoring position as well, so the Orioles hope that their pitching can really contain this Yankees offense. They hit 60% of their home runs here at Yankee Stadium, and they've got a couple hot hitters. Teixeira, A-Rod, McCann's hitting the long ball right now as well. They just got ELLSBURY back, and they also got Beltran. So they're a strong team right now offensively, going against one of the Orioles' top pitchers tonight in Wei-Yin Chen, and he's been fabulous as of late. So it should be a great start to the series tonight, and the Orioles just looking to try to win the series.
And Wei-Yin Chen will be celebrating a birthday and making the start, which is the amazing thing. But what's even more amazing, it is not just Wei-Yin Chen's birthday. Can you believe that? It is Barney Fife's birthday, the much beloved from Mayberry RFD. But wait a minute, even more than that, it is Mike Bordick's birthday today. He has finally reached the age of 29, and all of us are absolutely delighted that we get to spend this day at the ballpark with him. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it.
You and Barney Fife. We're going to seek out the similarities during our broadcast tonight. All right, when we come back, Yankee Stadium, Game 1. Yankee Stadium. And you see the breeze blowing right to left to start our game. Orioles baseball on Masson, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by your local BMW centers. A hot summer day in New York and a warm summer evening. Our BGE home game time temperature at 84 degrees. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Take a look at the Orioles lineup for the ball game tonight, brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Machado, Paredes, and Jones, Davis, Wieters, and Hardy. Snyder will be going in left field tonight. Scope and Parmalee. Adam Jones really heating it up as this month moves along.
And let's take a look at Eovaldi. Nathan Eovaldi's pitch arsenal this season is fastball at 50%. It is a big fastball as well. Averages 96 miles an hour. Can rush it up there 99. That's tops in the game right now. Loves his off-speed pitches, though. Good slider. Split fingers come a long way. 9 wins on the season. 4.50 earned run average. 71 punch-outs in his 98 innings of work. But take a look at the hits at 123. So he does give up a lot of base hits. Opponents average up over 300 at 308. And the lefties hitting them at a 350 clip. At the same distribution, ground ball, fly ball percentage. Giving up 8 home runs this year. Eovaldi has had massive run support from this Yankees offense. The highest in the game, up over 7 runs per game, which is a pleasant turnaround for him. Last year, he had the lowest run support in baseball.
And if you look at all the numbers and you block out the one-loss column, Wei and Chen should be 9-2, and Eovaldi should be 4-5. Instead, the records are exactly reversed. For the reason that Mike said, it's because of the tremendous run support he's had that he's been able to get away with all these runners on base and a very high ERA. Only 25 years old, and we are ready to go. Big series. The Yankees in first, 50-41. The Orioles in second, 46-45. 4-game lead for the Yankees to start this series. Manny Machado stands in, and we're underway. Breaking ball will miss outside. Manny comes in with a 3-game hit streak. He is one of the Orioles' hot hitters, putting up 4 home runs so far in the month of July for the Orioles. Only Adam Jones has more. He's got 5. 1-0 delivery by Eovaldi will be a fastball that'll miss away. 100 on the second pitch.
Big arm. Yeah, we talk about this fastball there. Triple digits, so he's loose coming into this ball game. A lot of adrenaline going.
Manny Machado is 1 for 3 with a home run against Eovaldi. Now both these pitchers today, because of the All-Star break, are working on 8 days rest. That can obviously, no matter how many times they've thrown on the side, it can affect their performance, especially early in a ball game. We'll see if it does for either of these starters in this one. That's going to be on the outside corner for a strike. And the count will go to 3-1. Manny taking all the way on that one. Machado with the defense straight up and pretty deep. Even ELLSBURY in center's way back. And a check swing and a ball inside. Did he go? Nope. But the Orioles will get a leadoff walk. And this is not unusual to have runners on when he's pitching.
Let's take a look at the Yankees defense behind Eovaldi, Gardner, ELLSBURY, and Young in the outfield. Gregorius and Ryan will be the double play combination. Headley and Teixeira on the corners. And the veteran backstop McCann behind the plate.
So the Orioles do get that leadoff walk. Let's see what they can do with it. In the hit department, Eovaldi comes into this 8th high in hits in the American League with 123 surrendered. And then you look at the walks that he's given up and you're like, oh my goodness, how does he ever win a ball game? I mean, you have so many base runners on. He has got to be effective working out of the stretch, because virtually every inning that he pitches, there's going to be somebody on.
Yeah, he hasn't really gotten deeper into ball games like they had hoped. As a matter of fact, his last 3 starts, he hasn't even finished 6 innings. So Orioles want to try to make him work, continue to be patient, which they've done here recently very well, working starting pitchers, getting into the bullpen.
Brady's the DH for the Orioles.
Incredible
shift
numbers
on against him.
Yeah, against the Yankees, just tearing it up. Paredes, Caleb Joseph doing a great job against the Yankees this year.
Orioles come in with a 2-game win streak, taking the last 2 in Detroit. The Yankees come in winning a bunch of series as they've continued to win 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4 ball games of late, which is why they've been able to maintain that top spot. And they are at home 10 games above 500. Pitch will be taken. Took something off that one. It is in there to Paredes. Paredes also with the 1 for 3 lifetime off of Eovaldi. He's had a long ball against him. Eovaldi's given up the 8 home runs on the year. Base stealers, only 3 attempts, 2 out of 3 successful. Real tough to run on Eovaldi and McCann behind the plate with a good arm. Eovaldi's clearly concerned about it early with Machado.
Yeah, well, definitely. Machado with the stolen bases this year can automatically put some pressure. You see his numbers there, 13 out of 17. And he's done a nice job picking his pitches with a little help from first base coach Wayne Kirby.
1 ball, 2 strike, runner not going, and he wanted to go after it, didn't. They want to check at third. Home plate umpire says don't need to. He didn't go. Mike Everett wouldn't point down to third. Right? Wouldn't even acknowledge McCann asking for it. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count. You see the modified shift on with the runner at first, trying to keep the double play in order. So Ryan at second base, shallow. That one will be fouled back up and over the screen. Home run off of Eovaldi. Look like this.
The Orioles have hit the long ball off Eovaldi. Take a look at Paredes. Little slider, hard slider, and he gets the bat head to it. Sparked some success from Paredes when he was red hot. He's looking to get back on that track. Still swinging very well with runners in scoring position, though.
2 of the big DHs in the ball game in the American League with A-Rod and Paredes. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Machado not going, and a swing and a miss. 99. I mean, that had sizzle.
A pretty impressive fastball. Sometimes you look at Eovaldi and wonder why the heck wouldn't he go with this fastball more. Here, take a look at the Nissan pitch track. It rides through the middle of the zone, but 99 miles an hour. Some feel that it's just too much on the same plane, and it will get hit if hitters time that fastball. But he mixes in so many off-speed pitches. We've seen the curveball, the slider, and the split fingers gotten much better.
So Adam Jones will stand in. Adam overall at 291, even better on the road. His 302 road batting average is 9th best in the American League. Miguel Cabrera, the Tigers, who's injured, still is number 1 in that spot. Boy, that one dropped in.
Yeah, that was a nasty split, but he's going up against one of the hotter hitters in baseball. Last 4 games, 9 for 18 with 3 home runs. Adam Jones, 5 home runs in the month of July. Getting to the inside pitch very well. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to stay away from Adam Jones.
Adam with a 4-game hit streak and an 0-1 count. 1 down. Machado not running. Foul back. Saw a number today on Adam. We talked a lot over the years about Adam going after that breaking ball that would be down and away, or after that pitch that would dive on him as an inside pitch. The numbers came out today. Adam Jones is not going after those pitches that are outside or down and into him nearly as much. He swung at those 30% of the time last year out of the strike zone. This year it's down to 22%. And as a result, slugging average has gone up by almost 80 points this season because he's getting better pitches to hit. 0-2 count. Runner at first. That one will lean him back a little bit. Get your attention. 1-2.
Well, Adam Jones has shown great patience this year at the plate. Been able to spit on some of those pitches that slide off the outside corner. But if you make a mistake with any pitch around the plate, he has incredible plate coverage. Saw him take Justin Verlander deep on a fastball in off the plate about 4 inches. Has incredible coverage off the outside corner as well.
You saw McCann set up way out just to see whether or not that's going to work against Jones here. McCann had the target way out of the strike zone, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Adam. Adjustments that we always talk about in baseball. Not only do hitters have to do it, so do pitchers. Guys like Adam lay off those pitches. They got to find some other way to go. Adam will put that one up in the air. Mark Teixeira will come over near the seats, and no, he did not get over there. That ball was catchable. It ended up in the first row.
Yeah, he was a little tentative. Was very familiar with right field and the stands here at Yankee Stadium, and one of the best first basemen in the game. Can pick balls and make plays that you won't see at first base. But here Just didn't find the wall soon enough and took his eyes off the ball right at the end. He got close and all off the pinky side of that big first baseman's glove.
It was 0 for 2 gloves and 1 hot dog container. 0 for 3. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Machado the lead at first. Throw over, had him leaning. Whoa, was that close? Man, he may have been going on that. He was leaning. Joe Girardi is saying, hang on a minute. To the home plate umpire, Mike Everett, letting his video people take a look. And whether or not he wants to challenge.
So many times, Wayne Kirby, the first base coach, and good base stealers. Take a look at the replay here as Manny was leaning. And it does look like Teixeira got him under the arm before that hand got back to first base. He has been picked off a couple times this year at first base. It's a little too antsy there, and that play might get turned over.
Yeah. So Tim Welke, who is the crew chief at first base, will be joined by the home plate umpire on the hot wire, and they'll go to New York. We get a challenge early here in the first inning, and obviously potential big one to take that leadoff walk off the base pass if it is reversed. Numbers have stayed about the same on challenges since the beginning of the season. The manager challenges are 50% of the time effective, which means the call on the field is reversed. Boy, that one's going to get reversed. He's out. Not much question about that.
Yeah, tough break. I think Manny was trying to time up Nathan Eovaldi. Eovaldi could kind of sense that. That quick move catches Machado for a big second out and relieves some of the pressure that was on him early.
So now 2 down and nobody on. And Adam Jones with a 2 ball, 2 strike count. So Eovaldi with an opportunity to get out of this, facing only 3 batters. Here's the delivery to Adam, and he'll take the pitch down low. We'll keep an eye on the infield tonight on ground balls. All of the grass that is from the mound back is sawed. It has not attached. They play soccer here, and Buck Showalter was out today and was talking to me. He said, watch for ground balls on that grass. He said it's loose and there may be some strange hops. Headley will make the play, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. On his birthday, can Wei and Chen present himself with a W for a present? We'll find out. Up to Cooperstown for the festivities this coming weekend, but for right now he's going to watch some baseball. Great to see him here at the ballpark. Yankee starting lineup: Ellsbury, Gardner, Rodriguez, Teixeira, McCann, Young, Headley, Gregorius, and Ryan the start at second base. Last 10 games a hot Brett Gardner.
And let's take a look at Wei and Chen's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 65% of the time, and it has been outstanding. Great command of that fastball, working at both in and out, the lefties and righties, breaking ball, curveball, and the slider. which has led to some mistakes this year in the straight change. 95 hits in his 110 innings, but the 2.78 earned run average, so impressive for Chen. Has given up 17 home runs, 6 in his last 4 starts. So Chen's got to be leery. Yankees hit the long ball here at the stadium.
And Ellsbury showed bunt. That'll get Manny Machado in at third base. Ellsbury comes in 0 for his last 11 at the plate. Does not show bunt there, and will take the pitch at the knees, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll see whether or not Chen can stay away from those walks. His 17 home runs, 5th most in the league. That will be fouled away, but he has been magnificent. Wei-Yin Chen, over his last 7 starts, has had an ERA of 2.23, and in those starts, 2 or fewer earned runs in the last 7 outings. 1-2 delivery on the way, will be outside. The last Oriole pitcher to go 8 starts giving up 2 or fewer runs is Eric Bedard back in 2006 when Bedard did that. Trouble for Wei-Yin, the opposite of Eovaldi. He just hasn't had the runs. Ball will go down the line. Could be a problem. Will it stay fair? It takes a bounce into the corner. It is. Snyder will get it back in, and Ellsbury gets out of the 0 for 11 with a leadoff double.
Well, what makes Ellsbury so tough, he is not in the pull mode. He's using the whole field. Of course, when you're struggling a little bit, you want to let the ball travel. And here, just taking a fastball out of Wieder's glove. Beautiful fastball from Chen. Look at how close it is to going foul, but big time double there by Ellsbury, 5th double of the season. That's the way the Yankees wanted to start this way, though.
So he's on scoring position immediately for the Yankees, and it will bring up Gardner. Gardner also will come into the game with an 0-for. He is 0 for his last 9, but on the season you see the 300 batting average that he has put up, and he has reached base in 21 consecutive ball games. He'll try and get a base hit and an RBI off Chen, and the pitch outside for a ball. Gardner's on base percentage during that 21 game streak of getting on is at .459. That is higher than the best on base percentage in the American League. Now that's just for 21 games, but I mean, he's really, while not getting hits, finding ways to get on with walks. 1-0 delivery on the way. That's a strike at the knees.
Now Gardner's a very patient hitter, and another one of those hitters that will use the whole field. You try to sneak one away, he'll slap at the left field in a hurry. He's come up with some big hits as well. A long ball for Gardner if you make mistakes in the zone, but great speed, so the defense has to honor that. You see Machado sucked in on the grass.
His job, get the runner moved up to third. That's what he's trying to do, a drag bunt. This got a chance. Chen with a flip of the glove. What a play. Got him. The only chance he had, and he does it the most difficult way you can as a fielder, putting it in the glove and flipping it. Sacrifice, though, moves the runner up.
Wei-Yin Chen, an incredible fielder. One error this season. Should have won a Gold Glove by now, but takes a great angle off the mound. Look at the athleticism, getting to the baseball, keeping the eyes on it, the wherewithal, knowing the speed of the runners. Got to get rid of it. Nice glove flip and a good play by Parmalee not to overcommit. Sees the ball and then goes to it. Big out there for Chen and the Orioles.
So a runner at third base with 1 away, and Alex Rodriguez, their DH, coming up. Rodriguez has got a 2 for 13 lifetime against Wei-Yin Chen. Runner at third. Infield will stay back here early in the ball game. They'll give up the run to get the out if they can get it. Rodriguez having a year that has everybody shaking their head. Absolutely unbelievable numbers that he is putting up. Nobody except maybe himself thought he could come back and do what he is doing this year. He and Teixeira leading the Yankees offensively. Rodriguez will take the pitch inside from Chen, and he'll fall behind him 2-0.
Well, you got to believe that being the full-time DH has certainly helped Alex Rodriguez stay potent here. I mean, his offensive numbers are incredible right now. He can stay rested, doesn't have to concern himself with going out there playing defense now. Just concentrate on the pitcher, concentrate on his swing, and he has been locked in.
2-0 delivery, towering fly ball. It'll be enough to get a run in. Snyder will make the catch. Runner will tag. Ellsbury will come. And an RBI for Rodriguez, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. Boy, there's manufacturing a run right there. Take a look at our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers.
Now, something's got to give here. The records, the Orioles on the road, 19-27, and the Yankees play so well here at home with the 27 wins. Look at the home runs. The Orioles have to pay attention to that and not make mistakes in the zone. 73 home runs for the Yankees out of their 120. That's 60% of their bombs have come here at Yankee Stadium. And the Orioles, of course, have to continue to swing the bat well and try to up that runs per game number.
So the Yankees get on the board with a 1-0 lead on the sac fly as Rodriguez picks it up. Here's Teixeira, the other part of this big thump in the middle of the lineup with Rodriguez and Mark Teixeira. Rodriguez now with 53 runs batted in on the year. Teixeira fouls it back. Teixeira, of course, switch hitter and hitting the long ball.
When you look at the Orioles defense, Snyder, Jones, and Davis in the outfield. Hardy and Scope up the middle. Machado and Parmalee on the corners, and Wieters doing the catching.
Pitch on the way by Chen. Will be taken inside. Only a couple of hits and 11 at bats by Teixeira against Wei-Yin Chen. One of those two hits, a home run, and that one is going to be inside and down low, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. The Yankees have done a lot of scoring in the first inning, and they do it again here in this ball game. 2-2 delivery on the way. He reached for one off the end of the bat and will keep the at bat alive.
Missed with the change the pitch before. Nice job by Wieters coming back with it. Wei-Yin Chen is starting to get that nice differential on his changeup, about almost 8-10 miles an hour different than his fastball, so it's become a very effective pitch.
Got one that he pops up in the shift mode. Wind blowing out. Hardy is there to put it away. So the Yankees, they lead the majors with runs scored in the first inning, 79 of them now as they get one here. Stevens Hill has won 500 for being selected. You'll win 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play baseball, buck scratch-offs win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Wind is ripping as some really dark clouds moving in over the left field third base side. Right now, ball put up in the air. Hard to tell. Wind swirls here at Yankee Stadium with that big scoreboard in center. Power alley is in right center field. That's why the ball just shoots out of here. Tough to get it out in center. Pull it down the line. You get a pretty good shot. It's only 315 left, 314 right. But you got to go right down the line to get those numbers. Here is Chris Davis for the Orioles, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Chris, too, has got a 3-game hit streak coming into the ball game. The Orioles opening up in the last 2 games against the Tigers, of course, put some really good numbers up. 4 for his last 13, the other way in foul.
Almost looked like Chris Davis wanted to shoot that fastball to left field there. 3 of his hits Against the Tigers, or to left field. It'd be nice if he started this series off with an opposite field base hit.
Headley, the only defender in the infield on the left side. 0-2 count on him, and the pitch will be taken down low. Eovaldi has pitched much better of late compared to his first few starts. He's gone 4-0 in his last 5. His ERA is 2.93 over his last 5 games. Cut his ERA in half compared to his first 13 starts. 1-2 delivery will just miss on the inside corner.
On the pitch prior was a big reason for that recent success. His split fingers throwing it much harder, 87 to 91 miles an hour. Prior to that, I used to work it like the changeup.
What was that? Just a straight change?
That was actually
right over the top.
Yeah, the curveball right there. 1-7 break. He buried it down and in to Chris Davis. The 98 mile an hour fastball to the 78 mile an hour, 79 mile an hour curveball. That'll get a hitter out in front. And yes, indeed, Chris Davis just flailing with the arms, trying to make contact, but Eovaldi gets him.
Eovaldi just 25 years old. Weeder's up. Matt will take the pitch inside for a ball. Matt comes in, picking up the pace as would be expected. You get back off the DL, you're usually going to have 2 or 3 games where the adrenaline carries you. Then the defense, pitching wise, starts to pick you up. Then you start to pick it up. At center, it'll be hauled in by ELLSBURY, and Weeders is the second out. The Orioles are going to return home for the first time since the All-Star break on Monday. They'll begin a 3-game interleague series with the Braves. On Tuesday, don't miss the season's next Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. All upper reserves are $10. Welcome back the Birds and save on your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. J.J. Hardy. Hardy with a 3-game hit streak coming into this set. And an 0 for 3 lifetime against Eovaldi. Yankee right-hander working quickly, and the fastball is just going to miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
JJ had some nice at-bats in the last series. All the Orioles were really swinging the ball, or the bat well. 34 hits in the 3-game series at Comerica Park versus the Tigers. But J.J. Hardy much more aggressive with the swing. He pulled some outside pitches, and I think that's what hitting coach Scott Coolbaugh has been working on him with. J.J. Hardy's strength is pulling the baseball. He has picked up his hits to right field, but why not wait on 2 strikes to drive it to right?
It's raining. He got him. So that is the 3rd strikeout. He retires the side in order. The Yankees going to the bottom of the 2nd inning have a 1-0 lead. Going to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Wind bringing in those dark clouds and now some rain as you saw the tarp being put out. So we are going to have a rain delay here at Yankee Stadium. And this is really a tough one. both managers over there, are thinking right now, along with their starters, please don't let this be long.
Right.
We do not want to have to go to the bullpen in the second inning of a game.
Well, I think most managers question the weather before it even arrives. Is it going to last or be long enough to where we don't lose our starters if they pitch for an inning or two? So a little surprised the tarp's on right now, but evidently they're expecting some serious rain. You can tell Eovaldi, the adrenaline flowing, the 8 days. He's throwing the fastball very well right now, 100 miles an hour, and that split finger around 91. And you would hate to see both Eovaldi and Chen just get knocked out if this rain delay lasts too long.
Yeah, really, it's a big series, obviously, for both of these ball clubs. And in game number 1, you do have an extensive rain delay that chases a starter real early. It changes the whole shape as far as your pitching for the remaining part of the series.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It can really mess up your bullpen. If they have to go into their bullpens early in this ball game, it could screw things up for a week, really. So you hope that both starting pitchers get back out there. But one thing, Buck Showalter's always prepared for these type of situations. So in the back of his mind, he already has a plan formulated. So Buck's going to be ready for it, and I'm sure Girardi as well.
Already one move that's going to have to be made by the Orioles will come tomorrow. Kevin Gausman, as planned, will be coming back up to make the start for the Orioles in the ball game tomorrow. And no announcement today on what move that would be. Buck Showalter did say prior to the ball game that maybe it would take care of itself, meaning Dan Duquette's working on potentially some deals. Of course, every general manager is, but they'll wait until tomorrow, and it's going to have to be, I think, at 4 o'clock tomorrow, because you got Gausman, who's on a special dispensation, to be able to get down and pitch. So they got to make a decision tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it really will be. They've had some tough decisions already this season. So, waiting on seeing what's going to happen if Dan Duquette is indeed working on a deal, or maybe thinking that somebody might get hurt. They always have to be aware of that when making roster moves. So they're going to wait till the last possible minute to make a decision. I know Buck does not want to lose any more pitchers, so it will probably be one of the outfielders.
Yeah.
That's what you would think. I think everybody's speculating that, but they've surprised us before.
Yeah. All right, we've got a rain delay here. The Yankees have the 1-0 lead before we started the bottom of the second inning. We'll be back to Yankee Stadium, waiting along with the players and the fans, hoping the storm goes by in a hurry. Warm-ups, he did not throw a pitch to start the bottom half of the second inning. Sac fly, Rodriguez the RBI in the first against him to give the Yankees the lead. So we'll pick it up right here. Some dark clouds still rolling by. Wind still blowing out primarily out towards right field, but at least no rain. For the Yankees, it'll be McCann, Young, and Headley due up against Wei and Chen. The Yankees against lefties are 14-11 against left-handed starters this year. Average happens to be a little less as a team against lefties than right-handers, but they had done okay against left-handed starters. Chen comes in with a 1-0 mark against the Yankees on the year, and lifetime 3-4 against New York.
Wei and Chen's pitched very well this season against the Yankees. It's nice to see most of the starters unflappable pitching here at Yankee Stadium. They will compete, give you everything they have. A lot of times you find opposing teams have a hard time competing at the stadium. A lot of Yankee ghosts, even though this is the new stadium. You feel the ghosts rising, put a little bit more pressure on the player.
Ryan McCann goes the other way. That's against the shift that the Orioles had on. Snyder will get it back in. So the leadoff man on in both the first and second innings. Take a look at our Jeep inside the numbers.
Now the Yankee Stadium this season with the American League ranks of home runs at 2.75 is the highest. Yankees knocking it out of here. Pretty good rate, but short porches down the left and right field line. Batting average at 254 is ninth. And you know with the homers, the runs per game are going to be up there, 9.84, and the earned run average as well, 4.51 is the second highest here at the stadium.
So that will bring up Chris Young, who's getting the start in right field. He shows bunt, takes the pitch up high for a ball. He gets the start because of his numbers against left-handers. He has a 360 batting average against lefties and 178 against right-handers this year.
Yeah, a little surprised showing the bunt here early in the ball game.
He doesn't, and he's got a base hit. I think he broke the bat on it too. Played back in by Snyder, so the Yankees, after our 15-minute rain delay, have back-to-back singles.
Not trying to do too much. McCann backs one up and shoots it to left. I think this is a surprise attack, showing the bunt on the first pitch and ambush the next fastball for a clean single over Hardy's head.
So the Yankees have runners on at first and second, and nobody out. RBI opportunity now is for Headley. Chase Headley, their third baseman. He has a 5-game hit streak coming into the ball game. Yankees with 3 hits off Wei and Chen. Nobody out here in the second. Infield double play depth, and the pitch will be on the inside corner for a strike. Headley taking a look down to third. Would not be expecting him to bunt here. He's got some power. 7 hits, last 25 at bats for the Yankee third baseman.
Another one of the Yankees hitters that's starting to spray the ball around a little bit. There is power in that bat. He's picking that average up.
Ooh, that one hurt.
Pretty good breaking ball there from Wei and Chen. We talked about the slider that he has, and done a nice job this year getting ahead, but at times doesn't finish the pitch. Here to get the second strike, it goes boring in on Headley, and he just fires it off that left ankle. Fortunately, maybe up a little higher. That doesn't protect there.
So the trainer and manager will be on their way out. Joe Girardi. That one really stung Headley. So we begin this first game of the 3-game set with fits and starts.
Right?
A little rain, a little foul ball, a little visit, and an 0-2 count on Headley.
Yeah, Wei and Chen would like to settle into this ball game, get a little rhythm, but it's been rough here in the early going.
No chance to do that yet. Headley 275 with runners in scoring position on the year, and he'll take the pitch up high for a ball. In the starts that Wei and Chen has had against the Yankees this year, second start, 2 runs, 4 hits over 6. Then he started on the 9th of May, got a win, gave up a run on 5 hits in 7 innings. Had a real good outing. And another one, fastball at 93, that's going to miss up high. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Headley. Gregorius waiting on deck.
Well, it's okay to miss up there, up and out of the zone, change that eye level a little bit. A couple different ways he can attack him now. He can bury that slider or the change down and away.
2-2 delivery. Full count. Chen, of course, has had the best or one of the best numbers with runners in scoring position for any pitcher this year. 114 is the batting average of opponents against him in these situations. That's 8 for 70. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and he's going to add another one to that. That's going to go to the wall. It'll hit right off the base. McCann will score. Young will be held. A double and an RBI for Headley, and it is a 2-0 Yankee lead.
Pretty nice at bat right there by Headley after Wei-Yin Chen gets ahead. He shows the patience through this at bat. It's a 3-2 changeup. It was down in the zone, but to middle of the plate, he's able to get to it, stay behind it, drive it to left field, off that left field wall, easily scoring McCann. The Yankees continue to threaten now. Runners at second and third. That's Headley's 14th double of the season.
Switch hitters got 32 runs batted in for the Yankees, who, as we showed you, have a great home presence. Yankees are second in runs, first in home runs, and second in OPS at home this year. Their offense has been outstanding. DIDI Gregorius, 2 in scoring position, still nobody out. That'll be foul back. Gregorius has had only a couple of at-bats against Chen. He is 0 for 2 against him, and just a 188 in these situations. For Gregorius against left-handers, much different, 181 than his 255 average against righties. Here's the 0-1 delivery by Wei-Yin Chen. Got him to chase one way out of the strike zone. Put that in your memory bank. Matt Wieters and Chen will.
Yeah, well, great slider there from Wei-Yin Chen. Exposing Gregorius a little bit there. You see a guy chasing the slider off the plate that much, it can open up a lot of holes.
0-2 count, second and third. And he goes after another one. So Gregorius a strikeout victim as Chen will get his first K.
A couple nice sliders here back to back from Wei-Yin Chen. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. You start on the plate. A great late action as it works itself away, missing that one by about 6 or 8 inches. Well off the plate. Good late finish from Wei-Yin Chen.
Well, Brendan Ryan has taken over at second base. He is hitting in the 9 spot. He is 0 for 9 lifetime against Chen. He has been on the DL much of the first part of the season, and he'll take the pitch. The Orioles are going to move the infield in. They will cut this run off and a ground ball if they can. Chris Young is the base runner at third. Headley on at second, and a 2-0 Yankee lead. And the Orioles willing to surrender an out here with a drawn-in infield. They can cut off a run. Won't need to worry about it if Chen delivers those kind of pitches.
Yeah, beautiful finish once again on the slider. Nice job bearing it down and in. That's a risky move, and managers keep their fingers crossed this early in a ball game when they have to suck the infield in. This game could get blown open if Ryan finds a hole. So you're taking a chance drawing that infield in there, but trusting Wei-Yin Chen will make the big pitch.
Ryan just came back reinstated off the DL on Friday. He had upper back problems. He missed the first 58 games of the season on the disabled list. So now he gets a chance at second, and he's going to bloop it. Jonathan Scope, time to get back, and makes the catch. So a big out right there, and there are 2 down. Time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use O's Couch Cam, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. So 2 away, 2 in scoring position. Big at bat early in the game. And JACOBY ELLSBURY coming up. ELLSBURY delivered a double his first time up. Came around to score on a manufactured run. Sacrificed over by Gardner on a bunt. Driven in on a sac fly by Alex Rodriguez. A run in here in the second. Ellsbury will go the other way and foul it off.
Ellsbury picked up a double on the fastball away, so Matt Wieters says, let's start him off with it. We're not thinking about that pitch. Good fastball there. Ellsbury Hackett fouling it off. And Chen and Matt Wieters would love some early contact, weak contact preferably, as Wei and Chen kind of laboring through this inning.
3:20 with runners in scoring position for Ellsbury this year. Pitch will be outside. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Chen really having to work. Leadoff men on in each of the first 2 innings. He's retired 67% of leadoff batters this year. The Yankees taking advantage, both leadoff men on and in the first 2 innings. 1-1 delivery came in nasty. That one he fouls off his foot or leg. He'll take a little walk. 1-2.
A great fastball. Really big reason Wei and Chen's had so much success at the major league level. His ability to locate the fastball here, riding it in on Ellsbury, and he takes one off the foot as well. He's able to locate it so well, either on the black or just in off the plate.
1-2. Runners second and third. J.J. Hardy's got it. Play made. Chen comes through. Big inning as the Yankees get the first 3 on and score only 1 run, leaving 2 in scoring position. The Yankees have a 2-0 lead. West Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com and by your local Mercedes dealership. Barry Thorne and Mike Warnick with you. Clouds overhead here at Yankee Stadium. Oriole fans on hand. It's not a particularly large crowd tonight. Good crowd.
Nice to see them getting along, though. 3
Absolutely.
Yankee fans and an Oriole fan sitting together there.
See that? I think John Kerry had to negotiate that over the past week, but obviously successful again. Here is Travis Snyder, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Snyder, Scope, and Parmalee do up for the Orioles. A 2-for-5 lifetime number against Eovaldi. We mentioned how the left-handers have hit him hard. 350 batting average for lefties, 272, which in and of itself is high for righties.
And Travis Snyder's been putting together some pretty good at-bats. A couple days ago at Tiger Stadium, a couple walks and a base hit, and he's been using the whole field as well. You cannot just count on him to pull the ball. He'll slap the ball to left field, take you up the middle. Basically just he takes what's given to him.
1 ball, 2 strike count. That'll go to second. Ryan's got it, and the out. One away here in the 3rd inning. Series tied at 5-5. Games played here at Yankee Stadium this year. Orioles have won only 1 of the 4 played against the Yankees here in this ballpark. Jonathan Scope coming up. Jonathan with a 5-game hit streak. He's been a red-hot Oriole, hitting .344 in the month of July with 3 home runs and upping that overall average now to .305. Pitch on the way, and the off-speed breaking ball is going to miss up high.
Well, Jonathan Schoop took the time on his rehab to get himself stronger, take some at-bats, work with Brady Anderson. Spent a lot of time down in Florida, and he's come back on fire, feeling real strong about his game. Put together some great at-bats. The power for Jonathan Schoop has been so impressive. I mentioned the 3 home runs this month with 6 homers this year in limited amount of playing time.
2-0 delivery to him. That'll be at the knees for a strike. On this road trip, he is 6 for 12. He's had a home run, 4 RBIs, and a couple of runs scored. He is the hot hitter in the lineup right now for the Orioles. Schoop will ground that one to short. Gregorio is there, makes the play. Eovaldi has been a ground ball pitcher. 51% of his outs this season have been recorded on the ground. I mean, it's not overly ground ballish. On the other side, Chen 61% up in the air. 2 down, nobody on. Parmalee coming up. Parmalee getting the start at first base again for the Orioles. A month that has not been particularly kind to him. 162 here in the month of July so far for the Oriole first baseman.
Yeah, he's played some great defense, though, at first base and picked up a couple hits in the last game for the O's.
In the air to left field. Gardner's back. He is under it, and he's got it. And Eovaldi retires the side in order. He faces only 9 through the first 3 innings. Yankees on top 2-0. The Quicken Loans National. Join host Tiger Woods July 28th through August 2nd at Robert Trent Jones Golf Club. 2-0 lead for the Yankees. Wei-Yin Chen here in this ballpark has a couple of wins and 3 losses in his career in games pitched at Yankee Stadium. It's been a ballpark where over the years, even the old Yankee Stadium, where left-handed hitters used to use that short porch against both right and lefties of opponents. And that hasn't changed a whole lot in this new ballpark. And a swing and a miss. Good off-speed delivery right there. Had Gardner way out in front.
Yeah, Gardner trying to ambush. Wei-Yin Chen surprises him with the slider. Typically likes to get ahead with a well-located fastball. I think Gardner realizing that has given up a lot of first batter of an inning home runs this year. A lot of hitters kind of jump on that Chen fastball.
Gardner sacrificed his first time up. Orioles go into the full shift when the count goes to 0-2. They were not in it before. See, the infield moved all the way around. Chen's 0-2 delivery will be taken outside for a ball. Gardner 5 for 18 with a home run. Lifetime against Chen. Left-handed batter, putting up good numbers against the Orioles left-hander. And the pitch is going to be up high. Gardner has hit .284 overall against lefties this year, .306 on righties. 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Chen's done a nice job getting ahead of the Yankee hitters. Got to find a way to put them away. Good breaking ball there.
And Wei-Yin Chen needs to do that. He is one of those, relying on a first pitch strike. 190. If the first pitch is a strike, opponent average goes to 270 if the first pitch is a ball. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way to him. Breaking ball down to first. Parley's got it. He'll go to the bag himself and record the out. So the first time in 3 innings, leadoff man not on. Before the Orioles take on the Braves on Tuesday, July 28, 7:05, social media fans are invited to a very special Birdland social pregame party. Centerfield roof deck. Tickets for the event start as low as $30, including a game ticket, access to the pregame party, catered menu drink coupons, and a t-shirt. The event also includes Q&A. Jim Palmer will be there, and MASSonsports.com's Rock Kabaka will be there. For details, Orioles.com/Birdland Special. Ball put up in the air. It's going to stay in the yard and center, and Jones is there to get it. A-Rod going after the first pitch. He had a sac fly his first time up.
Look at the road ahead here. Orioles' upcoming schedule. Of course, the Yankees tomorrow night, but then it's a day game, 1 o'clock on Thursday. Getaway day and flying down to Tampa. 7 o'clock start on Friday, 6 p.m. start on Saturday, and 1 o'clock start on Sunday.
Just what the show underlikes, 3 different start times. Here's Teixeira. He goes after it, puts it up in the air to center field. Jones is there, will make the catch. And the O's upcoming schedule was brought to you by Mile One Automotive, offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit the men's store or online at mileone.com. Chen has his first 1-2-3 inning. Yankees up 2-0. Just 11 of the last 16. July, the lowest batting average in the American League. The Red Sox, they have dropped 6 of their last 7. Their starters are 1-5 in those games with an ERA almost 6.5 and giving up 10 home runs. And the Blue Jays, they have lost 12 of their last 19. They will be playing in Oakland tonight. Josh Donaldson will make his first appearance in Oakland since the deal that sent Brett Laurie the other way. They will both get a chance to play against their former teams tonight.
Well, it seems like everybody in the East has had their down times and their good times. It's just a matter of who's going to finish on a hot streak, it seems.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Yankees able to build that lead up to 4 because really nobody else in the East has been doing much. Pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Manny Machado's been the only Oriole base runner through 3. He was walked in the first inning, but then Eovaldi picked him off at first base. Pitch on the way to him, and that one is going to miss down low. Eovaldi's walked 1, struck out 3. Chen has no walks, 1 strikeout through the first 3 innings. 2-4-0 for the Yankees. The Orioles have zeros across.
Eovaldi's mix of pitches doesn't stick with the fastball at all. It's on that off-speed stuff.
Little chopper, third base. Headley charging and gets rid of it in time to record the inning. The player designed t-shirt series is going to return to Oriole Park next Tuesday, July 30. All fans at the Tigers game will get the Glove Orioles t-shirt designed by the Gold Glove winner J.J. Hardy. Celebrate the Orioles shortstop Add to your Birdland wardrobe coming up on Thursday, July 30. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD for tickets.
There he is.
J.J.
T-shirt designing extraordinaire.
Extraordinary abilities. Sure, he spent time down in Garment District while he's in New York checking in on the latest clothing designs for men. Jimmy Paredes goes after the first pitch. Strikeout victim, his first time up. Paredes at 293. Still up among the top 5 in average home runs and RBIs for designated hitters in the American League. 0-1 delivery taken away. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Jimmy Paredes been a huge pleasant surprise to the Orioles, the way he swung the bat for this team in the first half. I mean, he got off on fire, a little downtime, but still putting together some pretty good at bats. Very aggressive swing and out of the strike zone a little bit, and I think that's what's kind of set him back. When he gets back into his own strike zone, he puts an A swing on even tough pitches in the zone.
2-1 delivery on the way will bounce. Saw a note today. I had to read it like 8 times to be sure I was reading it right. The Yankees are 2-1 in each of their last 4 series. They entered July trailing the Orioles and the Rays by a half game in the American League East on July 1st. Rays will foul it back. Since that time, the Yankees have gone 9-4 since July 1 and gone from being a half game back to a 4-game lead. Part of the reason is no other club in the American League East in July is better than 2 games below 500.
Yeah.
And that's the Red Sox.
Right.
How about that? 3-2 delivery on the way, and that's foul back. I mean, the Orioles are 5-9. Everybody else is 3 or more games below 500 in the division in July, except Boston. Boston's 2 games below at 6-8.
Yeah, it seems like that's the way it's been going. I mean, the Orioles got on a nice roll. They were in first place. They were actually 7 games over 500.
Yeah.
And it started a little skid the end of June, and July hasn't been very favorable for them, but it was a nice way to start that last Detroit series, and looking to kind of ride that momentum and obviously pick up that win-loss record on the road.
Shift on against Paredes. A 3-ball, 2-strike count. 8th pitch of the at-bat. Paredes will go the other way with it. Fights it off. So Eovaldi having to throw some pitches here against Paredes. 3-2.
See the pitch track, I mean, filling up the strike zone with all of his offerings. There was a slider on the last pitch. He's gotten in there with the fastball. So mixing up his pitches, so that's what's keeping Paredes off the ball right now.
And a swing and a miss. He got it down and away. Strikeout number 4.
That's the hard split finger. 91 miles an hour. Didn't have a lot of down action, but look at the movement as it runs away. You see that split finger grip. You're not going to see many harder in the game. He's thrown a couple nice ones at the bottom of the zone. This one just fading away off the plate to get Paredes.
So 2 down here in the 4th inning. Adam Jones coming up. He grounded out his first time up. Orioles going through the lineup for the 2nd time. Jones fouls it off. For Eovaldi, the numbers have gone up. First time through, Teams have hit 285, second time 303, third time 344. But so far the Orioles have not collected a hit.
A little surprising when you see this type of arsenal that he possesses. I mean, a huge fastball. Looks like he's got pretty good command of his slider and curve.
Jones, a 9-iron. This is going to be a problem, and it's going to be a base hit, I think. If it is, it'll be the Orioles' first hit. Gregorius was playing back, and we told you you're going to get some strange hops on that grass that's behind the mound because it's free sod there that's been put in.
Now the hard slider down. Adam Jones, a little half swing, and then there seems like a little miscommunication between Headley and Gregorius. Headley was coming strong. Gregorius might have called him off, but then he goes down with two hands. A lot of times that can make infielders a little stiff. So most middle infielders will go down one-handed and then make that transfer as they pull the glove hard to the right side into the right hand. There, he's got locked up a little bit.
Chris Davis. The Orioles have their first hit, an infield single for Adam Jones. So the minimum number faced for 3 2/3 innings by Eovaldi. And now Davis represents a potential tying run. Chris, the strikeout victim, is first time up. And takes the pitch up high. He's just a 193 hitter in this ballpark, but he has had 5 home runs here at Yankee Stadium. He's had a grand total of 18 home runs in his career against New York pitching.
Well, Chris Davis has been swinging the bat well. Unfortunately, run into some tough luck as we've seen over the past couple weeks. Home runs taken away.
Line drive, Adam Ball. And a dive for it and makes the catch, Ellsbury. So the ball sinking on him. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And 1 left on base. He can smile because he caught it. The Yankees here in game 1 of the 3-game set have the lead.
I'll tell you, he must.
They've won 11 of their last 15. They lead the season series against the Mets. They're playing the Mets tonight. For the Mets, a 37% chance of making the postseason, according to Baseball Prospectus. Yet, they're still in second place. And Stephen Piscotty, Cardinals, highly rated, promoted to play for the Cardinals from AAA. He'll be in St. Louis for their ball game tonight. It's the time of the year where not only are trades in vogue, but bringing up some of your people who are playing really well in the minors. I mean, people you think are going to play.
Yeah.
That happens now, too.
Well, if you're on the St. Louis Cardinals, I mean, they are really going through the Central pretty well right now. Be able to call up some of their younger players. Pretty impressive, showing the depth that they have and faith trust they have in some of their young talent.
And the Scotties really put up some great offensive numbers for them. McCann is retired to the ground ball. He singled and scored in the first inning. Yankee runs, leadoff double ELLSBURY in the first, sacrificed by Gardner. And then Rodriguez brought him home on a sac fly. In the second inning, McCann led off with a single. Young singled, and then Headley brought him home with a double. Pitch is on the inside corner for a strike. Chris Young, a base hit his first time up. 2-4-0 for the Yankees, 0-1-0 for the Orioles. Wei-Yin Chen averaging 15 pitches per innings pitched this year. Very low number. He's been pretty efficient in the outings he's had. This is his 18th start. The Orioles have gone 10-7 in the ball games he started. He, however, is only 4-5. But he's given them a chance to win. 1-1 delivery, Janbeam, third base, fair ball. Manny Machado can't play that one. It'll be a base hit. So Young is 2 for 2 put in because he hits well against the lefties.
Staying red hot here. We're talking about Wei-Yin Chen, the lowest earned run average by left-handed starters since the Orioles came back to Baltimore in 1954. McNally leading the way in '68 with a 1.95. Wei are, of course, some great years with the Orioles and Barber as well. But there's Wei-Yin Chen with a 2.78. Outstanding season by Chen. An unbelievable delivery that he possesses leads to that efficient number you're talking about with pitches per inning. The fastball command has always been there for Wei-Yin Chen, and he's getting stronger and stronger in his time at the major league level.
5 hits now for the Yankees. Headley a double and an RBI his first time up. Short lead Young. That ball's going to be blooped. Could be a problem coming. Snyder not going to get it. Force at second. The throw won't be in time. Young had to play it 3/4 of the way. Headley gets his second hit, and 2 on, 1 down.
I think it's a little frustrating there. Wei-Yin Chen makes a good pitch. Headley, you do what you can as a hitter. You try to fight your way through at bats and keep your bat head in the strike zone as long as possible. There, the good fastball just off the label. He's able to find some outfield grass. This heads up outfield play by Snyder, reading Young, the base runner at first base, but he made a little better read than Snyder thought.
So the Yankees will get another chance. Runners on in all but the third inning for New York. 1 down. Gregorius up. Even with a bag at third, Manny Machado. Yankee shortstop would try and bunt for a base hit. He's got Parmalee back at first. And a big cut. That's where Chen got him last time, was working away, and he took some cuts on pitches that weren't strikes in his first at bat.
Yeah, he's just working that breaking ball off that outside corner, and Gregorius keeps swinging at it. Got to keep sticking it out there until he proves he can put something in play.
Oh, and delivery on the way to him, and that will miss outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gregorius the opportunity, 188. With runners in scoring position on the year. Yankees have had 4 previous opportunities. They are 1 for 4. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery to him. Foul the other way. Chen, a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Good job getting ahead. Now, Gregorius has that slider in the back of his mind. Is Chen going to try something different? I don't think he should. He's trying to throw that slider down and away. See if he'll reach out and get it. He's expanded the zone in his first at bat. Swung off the plate on that first pitch.
Outfield plays him to go to left field. Shallow, Jones in center. Pitch will be taken up high. Gregorius not a punch and Judy hitter, but the results tend to be about the same. He'll take a full cut, but he tends to the line drives or the dying quail base hits.
Yeah. And he'll get better, I think, with more experience. Pretty tough situation for him to come over and play shortstop for Derek Jeter.
Half cut, protect me, and fouled it back into the screen. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Good article, one of the papers today on DIDI Gregorius, saying that at this point of the year he'd really kind of put Jeter behind in the history of the Yankees for Yankee fans. Not that the Yankee fans are totally happy with the offensive numbers, but he's playing well. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that one put up in the air right center. Jones, who is shallow anyway, no problem getting there for the second out. Be sure to text Masson's word of the day Wednesday to 29292. Your chance for a meet and greet with Buck Showalter. Brought to you by Outback Steakhouse, where the No Worries Wednesdays menu is now available on Sundays. 2 down and 2 on. Ryan coming up, popped out his first time up. Second chance for this bottom part of the order, the Yankees, to get somebody home. Second inning, Gregorius struck out with 2 in scoring position. Ryan popped out. This time he's going to ground out. Play to second to Scope for the force out. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 are left on base. We had a 15-minute rain delay, and it looked a heck of a lot better than that sky does right now. Brings us our look at this moment in history. On this date, 1990, it was Ben McDonald, Major League debut for the Orioles, 22 years old, and he blanked Chicago on just 4 hits, 2-0 win, retiring the final 16 that he faced. And in 1947, Fordham Flash, Frankie Frisch became the first switch hitter inducted into the Hall of Fame. There's the Hall of Fame plaque and the numbers with a .316 career average. Great base stealer. He went in with Carl Hubble, Mickey Corcoran, and Lefty Grove in the class of 47. And a new class will be going in this coming Sunday as the Hall of Fame ceremonies will take place. They're expecting over 50 returning Hall of Fame members for the ceremonies this weekend. Orioles down 2-0. 1 hit, an infield single off of Eovaldi, picked up by Jones in the last inning. Wieters flied out. First time up, Hardy and Snyder will follow. We're in the 5th. And late on the fastball the other way, 1-2.
Yeah, Orioles offense would like to put a little bit more pressure on Eovaldi. Take a look at his pitch count at 58, 53% fastball. So using the off speed about the same amount as that heater, mixing up the slider, the curveball, and the hard split finger.
Roller, it'll stay foul. Matt Wieters over the last 9 has picked the pace up offensively. Coming into the ball game 10 for 30 over the last 9 games. Only 1 RBI though in the last 14 for Matt. But he, like Adam Jones coming off the injury, getting themselves back. Scott Coolbaugh, the hitting coach, working with them. It's just a matter of some at-bats and some rhythm for guys with that good a swing. That one's going to bounce off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, when veteran players shouldn't take as long. You've already got so many at-bats under their belt. You're right. It's just about the timing and rhythm, and should come a little bit quicker. Matt's put together some great at-bats this year.
Wieters will foul that one off. Eovaldi on the fastball. 61 pitches thrown. Now Wieters Trying to kick it off for the Orioles. They've had one leadoff man on. A walk to Machado in the first inning. Eovaldi, 69% of leadoff batters retired this year. Shift on against Matt. The 2-2 off speed, framed, no call, at least for Eovaldi, and the count is full.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you can really sit on one pitch, but you better stay back if you're guessing, because you better stay on that fastball. 99 miles an hour, and if you're back there 100 miles an hour, you'll still be able to make an adjustment and get to the off-speed pitches.
So 2 walks Eovaldi surrendered have both been leadoff walks, the deadliest of kind. Machado got picked off though in the first inning. If Wieters gets picked off, we'll have a major story, because he's not far enough off the bag with his lead. He just steps back a little two-step. Here's J.J. Hardy, strikeout victim his first time up. Orioles trailing here, but just 2-0 in the 5th inning. And the pitch on the inside corner for a strike to Hardy.
Well, Matt Wieters isn't really a base stealing threat, but still have to have a good secondary. He's been spiking a couple balls in the dirt. Saw him just whistle that last 100-mile-an-hour fastball past McCann to the backstop. So get a good secondary, get yourself out there.
Tagged but foul. Hey, nice catch. 0-2 count. How about that? Found an Orioles fan on a J.J. Hardy foul ball.
Loving it.
Look at that. Can't believe it. That's amazing. That is pretty good. That's a long way down that line, too.
Yeah. He's probably saying, Dad, we're never going to get anything up here.
Ooh. Eovaldi close on that one, but missed in a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Wieters off first base, but not by much. A little chopper back to the mound. Eovaldi will turn. There's one relay. Didn't get it. Ball not hit hard enough to get 2. Force out.
Pretty good play right there by Eovaldi, and a nice tight turn by Ryan. Eovaldi taking his time. The chopper. Make sure you contain the baseball. Knows who's at first base. And then Ryan, not enough time to really get the feet around, but shows the strong arm and almost able to finish off that double play.
So the first out of the inning on the fielder's choice. So that'll move Hardy to first. And it'll bring up Snyder, grounded out his first time up. 1 down. Snyder will take the pitch for a strike. The Orioles offense distinctively different on the road. They're 10th in runs on the road, 4th at home, 11th in home runs on the road, 2nd at home, 10th in OPS on the road, 3rd at home. The Orioles have had to rely on some really good pitching on the road, which happens to be 4th best in the American League road ERA. To give themselves a chance to win road games, they are 19 and 27 on the road.
Well, they're definitely going to need the offense to pick it up. It has been slacking. The road numbers way down. Certainly potent enough to put up numbers and turn things around. If they're going to want to make it to the postseason, they've got to win on the road for sure. Keep that success at home. Find a way. Scratch out some W's. These tough road trips.
Certainly did that last year. 2-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to go all the way to the backstop. And down to second base goes Hardy. So there goes the chance for the ground ball double play. That one looked like it went right through the wickets right off the plate.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a hard slider. Yeah, it was a slider off the plate, so it's going to skip and stay down. McCann really not known for blocking the ball, smothering it with a chest protector. You've seen him already in this ballgame try to pick balls. Well, pays the price there as Hardy finds himself on second base as that scoots underneath.
And the walk. So Snyder is on. The Orioles have runners at first and second base now with 1 down. The next fireworks night coming up at Oriole Park, set for Friday, July 31. Be after the Tigers game that night at 7:05. Birdland Skies with a great display presented by Kaiser Permanente. Good seats remain but will not last. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. 2 walks in the inning, 3 in the ball game by Eovaldi. And the Orioles have their first runner down to second base in the game. 2 on, 1 out. Jonathan Scope. Jonathan tags it. Kid may get another one. Foul ball. Very close to where Hardy went.
Good swing right there. You see the Orioles numbers with runners in scoring position. Sunday 6 for 10. Previous 13 games just 7 for 91. Just 0.77 batting average in those situations. So Orioles hoping to pick it up where they left off on Sunday in the huge 4th inning. They had 4 base hits with runners in scoring position in the 4th.
0-1 delivery down the line. Again out in front of it, foul ball. Gardner not sure, so he plays it back in. Third base umpire, though, had already signaled Tim Timmons that it was foul.
Tim Timmons making the call pretty early. Third base coach Bobby Dickerson kept sending the runner, so he saw it differently, but you see the dirt flying up on the left side of the foul line. So
Buck Showalter's looking as video people say no, it was foul.
You got to keep playing if you're Gardner or even Bobby Dickerson, third base, or the runners for the Orioles. Don't know until it's verified.
So Jonathan will come back to the plate. Hardy goes back to second base. Snyder back to first. Just a 2-0 game as Chen has held the Yankees down on the 2 runs on 6 hits, and the Orioles trying to get one across the plate now in the 5th. Here's the 0-2 delivery, sent up outside. Heater was there and up. 99. He's been up there innumerable times in this game at 99, 100. That fastball. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
His fastball velocity is averaging over 96 miles an hour, the fastest in the league.
1-2 delivery on the way outside. You compare the 2 numbers in these situations between these 2 pitches, distinctively different. We told you with runners in scoring position, Chen's at 114. Eovaldi's at 326. 2 ball, 2 strike count. And that'll be down low. McCann had to scoop that one off the plate. So a 3 ball, 2 strike count. Lots of pitches being thrown here in the 5th inning. A couple of walks, fielder's choice recording the only out. And Scope going to pick up an RBI or 2.
I like the way he worked the at bat to a full count after a couple early swings.
3-2 delivery, grounded down to third. Got a force at third, won't go. There's another crazy hop. They'll get the force out. Ryan covering second base. So Jonathan Scope gets into the fielder's choice, and with 2 down, the Orioles cover the corners.
And Chopper here, and Headley, see how he gets his feet reset, knowing that there have been some funny hops off this infield. Good play there, getting that out at second base.
So Chris Parmelee will get the chance with the fielder's choice Scope on at first. Parmelee, fly ball to left field, his first time up. Parmelee hasn't had a lot of chances to pick up RBIs. He is 4 for 19 coming into the ball game, and this is his first chance in this game. 2-out RBI look for. Parmelee will take the pitch for a strike. But it caught the outside corner.
Well, take a look at the pitch track, a little bit off. Can read that, went out and caught that ball just out on the plate. Still give the home plate umpire a different look, and it favored the Yankees there.
That's in there for a strike too. Parmelee didn't think so. Now in this pitch, Hardy will be alive at third base. We've seen a wild pitch thrown by Eovaldi already. That's 8 wild pitches on the year. He might like to try and bury one here to get a strikeout. Oh, 2 went up instead, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Yeah, at least work the perimeter. He may want to bury that hard split finger down in the dirt. See if Parmalee might chase, expand the zone after a couple borderline calls. Get the 2 strikes.
1-2 delivery on the way. Parmalee takes. Tough take, but right. 2-2.
Split finger there. Nice patient look at this baseball. Recognizes it, stays back. That's what he sees as it works just off the outside corner. Take by Parmalee. Great pitcher's pitch by Eovaldi.
2-2 delivery. Parmalee a chopper to second base. Ryan bobbled, goes to short. The Warriors there, and they get the out. So the Orioles, no runs, no hits, no errors, 2 are left on base, and the Yankees have a 2-0 lead.
Showing that he should be winning a Gold Glove soon. Beautiful play there to get Gardner at first base, but then after 3 consecutive hits, yeah, Headley picks up the 3rd. It's a double off the wall. He drives in McCann to give the Yankees the early lead. Orioles threatening. Jones on first base. Davis the liner. Ellsbury, little misread, but nice adjustment as he comes up with a big 3rd out. For Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
4 train pulling into Yankee Stadium. And the pitch is taken down low for a ball. Wei-Yin Chen. He has walked none, struck out 1. Top of the order, Ellsbury a double, a run scored, and he has grounded out. 2-6-0 the Yankees, 0-1-0 for the Orioles. Ground ball down to first base. Parmalee gets the hop. Ellsbury is retired. On Saturday, August 1st, celebrate the Free State as the first 25,000 fans 15 and over get the Maryland-themed Oriole Bird bobblehead. Don't miss this instant collector's item, and it'll be of the favorite mascot preparing for his own crab feast. Good seats remain. Will go fast. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. There is bobblehead mascot.
That's a good-looking bobblehead right there. I like that.
Ready for the crab feast.
Yeah.
Here's Brett Gardner, and he will take the pitch down low. Had to make sure that is Old Bay, so he's really ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, got the Old Bay in one hand, the hammer in the other. That'll be at the knees for a strike. 1-1 on Gardner. Gardner is sacrificed and grounded out. So still looking to get out of his 0 for his last 10 times to the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Even with the bag, Machado at 3rd. Pitch will be taken away for a ball. 2-1 strikeout. Game 2 of the series will be tomorrow night, and a day game on Thursday. Kevin Gausman reinstated, expected to be against Yvonne Nover for tomorrow. Jonathan Scope, that was going to be a tough hop no matter how you cut it. Let's see that one coming.
Yeah, one of the toughest plays in the game is this ground ball hit to a second baseman's right, some speed in the box, lefty there. You know Gardner's getting out of there, sniffing the infield hit, so you got to come and get it. Unfortunately, Jonathan Scope gets caught in between and tries to make the adjustment with the glove, catching a little too deep, can't catch it clean. Gardner's speed helps there,
and he will get a single. So Gardner on with the infield hit, and here's Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez has flied out, RBI, sac fly for the Yankee DH. 2 for 14 lifetime against Chen, and we'll foul that one off outside of third base. Rodriguez and Teixeira, as we mentioned, really carrying this ball club in the offensive numbers that they have been putting up. Slugging percentage, Rodriguez is ranked 10th in the league. His on base percentage is 8th in the league. He's drawn a lot of walks, both he and Teixeira. Teixeira is 4th in walks, Rodriguez is 6th. 0-1 pitch by Chen, up high.
Yeah, they've been doing some damage here in the heart of this order. I think they've really helped kind of lift everybody in this offense. McCann having a very productive year, starting to take more of a leadership role. I think Alex Rodriguez a big surprise to share a monster year. Over half of his hits have been extra base hits.
Watches that one. Against the Orioles, A-Rod only needs 4 more home runs to match Harmon Killebrew for the most ever against the O's. Killebrew has 68. A-Rod's got 64 home runs in his history against the Orioles. This is the 240th game Rodriguez has played against the O's. 2-1 delivery on the way, and he was going for one right there and couldn't catch it.
Yeah, trying to get on the way-in Chen fastball. Now, at the beginning of the year, there were some question marks. Could Alex Rodriguez catch up to a good major league fastball? Well, he's proven everybody wrong this year, but Chen's life through the top of the zone wins that one.
2-2 strike count. Gardner taking his steps off at first base. 2-2 delivery to Rodriguez. He'll go after it and foul it back. Among the DHs this year for Rodriguez, he came into today 4th in average, 2nd in RBIs, and 1st in home runs for designated hitters. 2-2 strike count. Gardner not risking a go with A-Rod up, and a tough pitch to take, will miss inside.
Great pitch from Wei-Yin Chen. He's had trouble burying that slider when he gets ahead. That's a quality pitch from Wei-Yin after a couple of high fastballs. Working the top of the zone. Alex Rodriguez has chased a couple of those heaters up there. But now the full count.
Rodriguez, 320 here at Yankee Stadium this year. 237 on the road. 3-2. Runner not going. Foul back. That bat stays alive and did not get cheated on that swing. So a 3-2 strike count. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat to Rodriguez. Yankee runs on a sac fly, Rodriguez, and an RBI double by Headley. Gardner not going, and another one foul back. Tough at bat right here. Pretty good battle.
Yeah, another pretty healthy cut from Alex Rodriguez. He's gotten him to expand up on the top of the strike zone, but there, right down in the heart of the plate. Alex Rodriguez almost came out of his shoes on that swing. See the 8th offering. And working the perimeter, the hole at bat. And challenges him with a fastball right down the middle.
3-2. Gardner stays, and he gets him. He'll go down swinging. The second strikeout picked up by Chen.
Nice job by Wei Chen. He's coming with that heater. This time the fastball stayed in the top of the strike zone, and Alex Rodriguez swinging through. Maybe that healthy cut. Alex Rodriguez thinking he's not going to come back with another heater. Surprised him there.
So Teixeira with a runner at first base has popped out and flied out. Mark Teixeira this season hitting .314 against the Orioles with 1 home run. He's had 24 career home runs against the O's. 0-1 delivery on the way by Chen will be foul back. Among the leaders for Teixeira, he is 4th in homers, 2nd in RBIs. Morales of KC's got a couple more than Teixeira. As we said, he's up there 4th in walks, 5th in slugging. A lot of extra base hits for him. Just had a really solid season so far for the Yankees. And Teixeira gets that one into the gap. Going back, Snyder reaching out, cannot get it. It will, however, not be a run. A ground rule double and a break for the Orioles on that, because the run scores easily if it stays in the ballpark.
Boy, that is a huge break for the Orioles. Great effort by Snyder out in left field. This ball stays in the park. Gardner scores easily. Look at that diving effort by Travis Snyder. We've seen him come down with a couple of those this season. Look at the eyes on the ball, the angle, but just out of the reach. And fortunately for Chen and the O's, it bounces up over that left field wall.
Teixeira picks up the 2-bagger. And now another very important at bat right here for the Yankees. Again, 2 in scoring position. McCann, single, run scored and grounded out. Chen's delivery, and it'll be fouled off. Wieters will come out to have a word. Yankees 1 for 6 in these situations tonight. We've had a couple of them that you get a base hit in a situation like this, the whole look of the game changes.
Oh yeah, got to make a good pitch here. You have an open base. McCann's been swinging the bat pretty well. 15 home runs again for McCann. That's 10 straight years with 15 home runs or more. Pretty impressive for the backstop.
He is 7th in the league in homers. Great pitch in underneath the hands, and Chen gets ahead of him 0-2. Couldn't have walked that one up and put it in the glove any better.
Great fastball there, and it better be in, and in hard off the plate here with the short porch in right field. Just .314 down the right field line.
Count will stay. 2 strikes on McCann. 5th inning here at Yankee Stadium. Game 1 of this 3-game set. 15-minute rain delay going to the bottom of the 2nd inning. Fortunately, very little rain, and they got right back out to play. 0-2. And McCann on a swing and a miss. And Chen continues to weave magic with runners in scoring position. 2 more left here. Allows the do-ups. Manny Machado, Jimmy Paredes, and Adam Jones. Yankees have the lead.
2012. Last season, 288, 26 homers between AA and AAA, earning himself a call-up. Well, his bat's heating up in AAA this year. Last night, 2 for 4 with a homer, 3 RBI. Last 4 games, 6 for 18, 3 homers, 8 RBI. And this season, 254, 8 home runs, 37 stakes for Christian Walker. The batting average and the production starting to climb.
Temperature going down here with these clouds moving through, bringing a little cooler weather. We've dropped 3 degrees, 81 now. There you see Bobby Dickerson, Jonathan Scope probably on that ground ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about that play, one of the tougher plays for a second baseman. And Jonathan Scope talking about, well, at first he was thinking about backhanding that play. And Bobby Dickerson right there saying, well, that's what got you in between. Maybe trust your instincts. Trust what you see first, especially on those tough plays. Scopey got a little in between. You see Dave Wallace talking to Wei-Yin Chen. Coaches on top of their players right now, keeping them involved and in the game. Great coaching staff Buck Showalter has.
Manny Machado leading it off, 6th inning. Yankees up. Orioles have 1 hit, an infield single, and that was in the 4th inning, and it was not a clean hit. 2-0 count. Eovaldi has walked 3, struck out 4. Machado will take it for his strike. Machado walked 1st inning, got picked off, grounded out his next time up. A very different game numbers wise so far for Eovaldi. He's generally been in ball games where he's giving up 3, 4, even 5 runs, and the Yankees are getting 5, 6, or 7. Here it's just a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, tight game. You know, the Orioles and Yankees, talk about them splitting the series. They've had 6 games already this year, 2 runs or less.
Machado goes to center. Ellsbury is there. 1 down here in the 6th. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to the March of Dimes. 229 walks, $11,450. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Brady's coming up. He has been a strikeout victim twice in the ball game. Another well-pitched game underway for these two, Chen and Eovaldi, and that's a base hit the other way. He got one up that he could go after. Ellsbury will get it back in, and there's a clean hit for Paredes and the Orioles' 2nd hit of the game.
Beautiful piece of hitting right there from Jimmy Paredes. Gets that first pitch, fastball. It's up in the zone, and he stays on it and drives it to the left center gap, forcing JACOBY Ellsbury to make a play like a shortstop. He's got to fill up that gap or it's going to roll to the wall in a hurry.
So Adam Jones representing the potential tying run at the plate, as the Orioles have had that a couple of times in the ball game, with the Yankees getting 1 in the 1st and 1 in the 2nd. Jones a base hit, and he is grounded out. Adams got a 5-game hit streak now. Short lead at first base. He cannot get picked off here in this situation.
Well, the Orioles shouldn't really take any chances right now. Nice hole over there at first base. They have to get something going offensively, put a little pressure on the Yankees and Eovaldi. Getting picked off would not be a very smart move.
And the pitch taken down low.
Brady's has whistled some balls this year. That's just a single in the gap at 99 miles an hour. Be a little elevation. Be off the wall or even over the wall.
1-0 count. During his hit streak, Adam hitting .500 over the last 5 games. Coming right out of your cleats on that one.
Boy. So he gets back geared up for a heater. He recognizes a split finger, and there is no movement. You can see the spin on the split finger. It's different than a 4-seam fastball. It's different than a slider. Almost kind of tumbles in there, and Adam Jones recognized it. The ball stayed up, and this is a big league cut. I mean, almost completely out of the shoes. Leaves the box for sure.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Eovaldi's delivered to Jones, and that'll be reached for and looped foul back into the seat. Adam has had 10 hits in his last 20 at bats, including 3 home runs, 3 RBIs, all coming during this road trip. Buck Showalter and company. I hope It's a sign of things to come for Adam the rest of the way, and no reason to believe it won't be. That shoulder feeling much better. It needed that all-star break, even though he went to the game. Still got those days off to rest that throwing shoulder.
Yeah, you're not going to really see anybody play the game as hard as Adam Jones, and the first half of baseball that Adam Jones played was incredible. He crashing into walls, diving for balls all over the place, and I know all fans are used to seeing Adam do that, but you know, another year under the belt, body's taking a beating.
Ground ball to short, barehanded Can't, and the Orioles got 2 on. That ball just died. It stopped rolling, and Gregorius, the only chance he had, and I don't think he had any really, Adam Jones is on with another infield hit.
You got to respect the speed of Adam Jones. That's why he's so dangerous. You got to respect the speed and power. So he played back. Never really thought that a shortstop with the ball moving should try to barehand the ball. Pretty lucky that that ball didn't scoot by and get in the outfield. Catch it, make a fake throw. If you don't think you're going to have time, at least secure the baseball.
So the first warm-up action will be Justin Wilson in the bullpen for the Yankees. 1 down and 2 on. Paredes goes down to second base. Jones 2 infield hits. And Chris Davis, who has struck out and flied out, stands in. Orioles 0 for 2, runners in scoring position so far tonight. Modified shift here with the runners on. Ryan just on the outfield grass at second base, and Gregorius stays just on the shortstop side of second. Goes the other way and foul.
Well, it must look like the whole field's opened up for Chris Davis. Every time he steps to the box, the big shift on him. See, Eovaldi this season has 18 starts. He's at 94. The season high 111, averaging the 92.9 per start. Talk about him last 3 starts. Hasn't made it through the 6th inning.
0-1 delivery on the way, and a towering pop-up. First base. Teixeira will make the catch, and Davis is retired. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. So the 2-out opportunity will go to Matt Wieters. Wieters has walked and flied out to center field. 2 away. This has been Matt's best side of the plate. Pitch up high for a ball. 290 left-handed, 179 right. 2 of the 3 home runs hit from this side of the plate. 6 of his 7 doubles from this side of the plate.
He can definitely do some damage. The power in Matt Wieters' swing. Like to get a mistake over the plate.
1-0 delivery the other way, and foul. Here in this ballpark for the Oriole catcher, 9 of the 13 home runs he's hit against the Yankees in his career have been here at Yankee Stadium. He's got a bat kind of made for this ballpark. He gets around on one, pulls it down the line. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Eovaldi has not been surrendering home runs. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that'll break in. Eovaldi here at home has not lost a game this year. He's 4-0, and a much better ERA here, 3.72, than he has had on the road. A ballpark to his liking. Last 7 games he's pitched here, he's left the ball game with the Yankees leading. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way. Wieters, he's got a base hit into right field. Over to get it, Chris Young. Throw's going to come to second. They got a chance. Not in time. And a run will score. Jones gets back to the bag. Paredes crosses the plate. RBI for Wieters, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Big hit right there by Matt Wieters. Clutch hitting there. 2 outs. This is a hanging split finger, and he gets on it. Nice clean base hit. Paredes at second base, able to score easily. Adam Jones got the head on the swivel. puts the brakes on when he sees Young throwing behind him. A little slip in that Yankee Stadium infield dirt, made it a little bit closer than it was supposed to be.
So the Orioles have put themselves on the board, and they've still got 2 on. A 2-1 ball game. Eovaldi is going to leave. 5 2/3 innings worked. Adam Jones, a potential tying run on at second when we come back.
A changeup. That's the split finger. Up tonight, 28% compared to 13% on the entire season. Well, he's throwing it a lot harder. We saw the range and speed. 87 to 91 with that split finger, but it's another early exit. 5 2/3, 4 hits. Did give up the 1 earned run, and now it's time for a little relief for your car too. Visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes and help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. Well, Justin Wilson in out of the Yankees bullpen. Loves his fastball. 93% of the time. Pretty good pitch too. 92 to 97 with the heater. Has a curve and cutter to go along with it. A couple wins with a 2.65 earned run average. 33 punch outs, 14 walks. Getting opponents down to 181. Lefties at 209, but the righties way down to 164.
J.J. Hardy. Runners at first and second, and that one almost got by. Good stop by McCann. So the Orioles had only 1 hit coming into the inning, an infield single by Adam Jones in the 4th inning. They've got 3 in this inning, all singles. Brady's, Jones, another infield hit, and then Wieters with the RBI base hit.
Wilson with that inherited runner stranded there, 23 of 28, 82%, pretty good number.
12 RBIs for Wieters, who's on at first base. 1-0 delivery on the way. Hardy will take the pitch inside for a ball. Wilson coming over from the Pirates for Francisco Cervelli in the offseason. 27 years old with the Pirates over the last 3 years. Pitched at Fresno State. In fact, he won the deciding 2008 College World Series game against Georgia. Here's the 2-0 delivery on the way. Hardy will foul it back, trying to drive that one. And it's 2-1.
I like that. A lot of teams love going after players that have had some form of success, winning championships, whether it be in baseball or football, whatever sport they play. The Yankees targeting him in that trade you mentioned with Francisco Cervelli.
2-1 strike count. Hardy 179 off left-handers. Not anymore. Base hit into right field. Young up. Bobby Dickers is going to wave him home. Young bobbled it. Here's the throw. They got a runner trapped. The game is tied though. Tag. Oh, bad play. They get the out on an extra flip. But the Orioles run will score. Adam Jones crosses the plate ahead of the out. Hardy will get a base hit and an RBI, and then Wieters gets caught in the rundown and a late flip. One you don't want to make, but the tag is put on for the out by Gregorius. Ball game is tied 2-2. by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. And by Smythe Jewelers, where Maryland gets engaged. Jerry Thorne and Mike Wardick here at Yankee Stadium. Good ball game. The Orioles right back to tie it up. Waiters caught in that rundown, rounding second base. RBI picked up by Hardy, scoring Jones to tie the ball game. But second out recorded on the base paths in the ball game for the Orioles, with Machado picked off in the first inning.
Yeah, unfortunate there. There have been a couple base running mistakes. Of course, Manny Machado getting picked off. Adam Jones almost getting thrown out behind from Young in right field, and then Wieters there. I mean, that was a great opportunity. Big clutch hit by, of course, Wieters and Hardy in that inning. But you have to pay attention to what happens in the outfield. That could easily turned around, saw the bobble, and then held up and kept the pressure on the Yanks.
That'll go to Snyder off the bat of Chris Young. He's got it for the out. Young, a couple of singles, and the fly ball out, one down. Maryland football season tickets are now on sale and start at just $175. Visit umterps.com or call 1-800-I-AM-A-TERP. Fear the Terp. Maryland, my Maryland. Chase Headley, off-speed delivery in their first strike. In typical fashion, Wei-Yin Chen just keeps churning along. Trail 2-0. Runs in the first and second. Has shut the Yankees down since. First base, Parmalee. 2 down.
Wei-Yin Chen has been so impressive this year. Another good pitch there. Allowing 2 earned runs or fewer. Highest percentage of starts this season. Wei-Yin Chen leading the way with 76.5%. The company, David Price, Felix Hernandez. Pretty impressive stuff for Wei-Yin Chen. Of course, 13 of his 17 starts, giving up 2 earned or less.
And he's got 2 quick outs here. That's going to be a base hit the other way. Gregorius leaning into one. He gets a 2-out single here in the 6th inning. That'll be hit number 9 for the Yankees. 2-9-0 Yankees, 2-5-0 for the Orioles. Bottom of the 6th inning.
Gregorius finally staying on the slider. He stayed on the plate a little bit too long, but Wei-Yin Chen has been able to handle him with that pitch.
Eovaldi, by the way, charged with both of those runs, so he gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, and 5 2/3 innings. Happened in a hurry. Non-decision. He ends up with 3 walks, 4 strikeouts in the ball game. Brendan Ryan at the plate. Ryan will take it for a strike. Ryan has popped out, hit into a fielder's choice. He's 0 for 11 now against Wei-Yin Chen in his career. Left-hander's delivery, hit hard. Fair ball down the line, third base. Snyder's got a long way to go. Let's see if they're going to send him. Here he comes. Trying to score the go-ahead run. Got a chance at the plate. Relay throw, not in time. A double by Ryan and an RBI. Gregorius scores. Yankees up by 1.
Ryan able to keep that one inside the left field line here. Just out of the reach of Manny Machado, and then it's just a foot race. Who's going to get there first? Snyder to the baseball, or Gregorius to third. Pretty close. He gets the wave home. Orioles have been great in the relay. Gets deep down that line, and Gregorius is on another gear, able to touch home plate well before the throw arrives.
So the bottom part of the order, 8 and 9, get the go-ahead run. 3 runs on 10 hits now. And here is ELLSBURY. There again is the advantage we talk about when you got 2 down. The ability of the base runner to be able to take off on contact and just go, not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
0-1 count on JACOBY ELLSBURY, a double and a run scored. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game, 8 for 22 now against Wei-Yin Chen. ELLSBURY lifts it in the air. Jones, Snyder wants it, and he's got it. And a run in on a couple of hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Our Honda do-ups when we come back. Travis Snyder, Jonathan Scope, Chris Parmalee. Yankees up by 1. Of them. The Detroit Tigers are saying that they plan to make David Price and Yoenis Cespedes available. So the Tigers willing to cut free on a couple of their stars. And Chris Johnson wants out of Atlanta. He said, I've been called in the manager's office and he told me they are trying to move me. I want to be moved and they want to move me. Hopefully something gets done.
Yeah, you would hope something gets done. Johnson obviously doesn't sound very happy. And
well, he lost his starting job, injured, out, and now can't get the starting job back.
Right.
Nolan Raimo will come on to be the pinch hitter for the Orioles with the left-hander Wilson on the mound. He'll pinch hit for Snyder. Snyder 0 for 1 and a walk. Buck Showalter continues to shuffle the names and numbers in left field depending on the matchup. Pitch will be in there for a strike. So the pitcher of record now, Wilson, came on to get the final out on the base paths, no less, in that last inning. 7th inning, 3-10-0 for the Yankees, 2-5-0 for the Orioles. Raimo rips it into left field for a base hit. He got all of that one. He barreled up. Gardner gets it in, and the Orioles get the leadoff man on. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to O's Couch Cam, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Kinds of good Orioles gear in that photo.
Ellen Betances in the bullpen. The bullpen has been a great Yankees strength so far on the season. Here's Jonathan Scope. He is 0 for 2. Runner at first. Scope will take the pitch, and it is a strike.
Oh, we've seen the good fastball that Justin Wilson has been throwing. Great velocity, mid-90s with the heater. Raimo got on one of the cutters he occasionally throws.
Look over, and the 0-1 delivery on the way. That will just miss. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Scope's numbers coming into today. Trouble with the lefties than the 200. Those are the homer. Righties, though, no problem at all. 359 at 5 long balls and 12 stakes on the end.
Pitch on the way by Wilson. Tailed that one away for the swinging strike. 96 miles an hour and a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Boy, he really has an impressive downward angle on that fastball. It's on top. At the location with all 3 of the offerings down at the bottom of the zone.
Orioles leadoff man on first base. Raimo broken back ground ball to third. Headley bobbles, only plays at first, and got him. A double call. 1 safe and 1 out.
The Buck wants the first, please.
Tim Welke, the crew chief at first base.
Buck kind of scratching the chin. Headley's had some problems defensively. So making it a very close play at first.
Yeah, third base defense has been a real problem for the Yankees this year. They are 13th in defense. Do you have it in the back of the glove? Probably. No challenge. The Orioles get the potential tying run down to second base. So Scope grounds out. Raimo goes to second. And here is Parmalee, who is flied out and hit into a fielder's choice. Base hit here. Ball game can be tied again. And that one to center field. ELLSBURY back. Makes the catch. Raimo will tag and go to third, but JACOBY ELLSBURY tracks it down.
Well, pretty impressive defensive play by the Yankees center fielder. Already made a nice play coming in on a ball off the bat of Chris Davis. Well, here he's got to go back. Great first step and a great angle, about as direct a line as you're going to see. And then the athleticism with the concentration and the little jump takes a base hit, extra base hit, and an RBI away from Parmalee.
And that will be it for the left-hander Wilson, with a runner at third base and 2 down here in the 7th inning. Matchup with Manny Machado coming up. Betances coming in. Mound against Devon Nova. Our coverage on Masson begins at 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Jeep, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on Masson.
Now Dylan Betances into the ball game. One of the best strikeout men you're going to see on the back end of a bullpen. The fastball 32% of the time. A great fastball, but even more impressive breaking ball 68% of the time. At 147 earned run average. Let's have the 7 saves when Miller went down. 79 punch outs in 49 innings of work. Pretty impressive stuff, averaging 14.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. Opponents hitting just 121 overall.
So there's the potential tying run, 90 away at third. Manny Machado up. Headley will play even with a bag at third base. 2 down. Machado will take the pitch, and it is on the corner for a strike at 82. There's what you were talking about.
Yeah, very tight breaking ball. Throws it hard. Real good depth.
Machado 0 for 2 and a walk in the ball game. Betances delivers to him. Mano a mano, foul back. Tommy Hunter's in the bullpen for the Orioles. Machado against Betances, 1 for 4. 27-year-old flamethrower. He has struck out 44 of the last 100 batters he's faced. Nolan Reimold led the inning off with a single, moved up ground ball, moved up on a fly ball to third. And now Betances trying to protect the Yankee lead. 0-2 delivery. Outside, did he go? No. Jim Welke at first.
Take a look at a hard slider here as it works well off the plate, down and away. Little start. Nice job holding the bat head up from Machado.
One ball, 2 strike count. Half the Yankees are heading to the dugout. 2-2.
Man, he's seeing the ball so well right now. So quiet up there, trusting his hands and his vision. A couple of tough pitches. He finds himself behind in the count.
2-2, 2 down. Strike him out. Tag put on. That's Betances' job, and he gets it done here in the 7th inning. Runner left at third on a base hit. 7th inning stretch time in New York. here at Yankee Stadium. Real good ball game underway, and a 1-run differential. Wei Chen has gone the distance for the Orioles. He has walked none, struck out 3, gave up a sac fly RBI to Rodriguez in the first inning, and an RBI double to Headley in the second inning, and then Brendan Ryan got that double in the 6th to give the Yankees the lead back. Nolan Reimold, who came on to pinch hit, will stay in the ball game. He will be in left field. And Chen will move along here into the bottom half of the 7th inning with Gardner, Rodriguez, and Teixeira.
Well, Chen's been doing a fabulous job getting deep into ball games lately. 3 of his last 5 starts pitched 8 innings. He had a 7-inning start and a 6-inning start. Here, working into the 7th inning again. 95 pitches. Nice job keeping his team in this ball game. He's pitched out of some tough jams. Gives his team a chance.
Brett Gardner leads it off. A base hit. He's grounded out, and he sacrificed Ellsbury in the first inning to help set up that first run. Wei Chen goes to work, and the off-speed breaking ball of beauty is in there for a strike. These teams come into this series with opposite numbers, in that the Yankees have won 9 of their last 13. The Orioles have lost 9 of their last 13. Pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Buck Showalter's team looking for win number 47. Cut the Yankee lead to 3. Chance for Girardi's ball club to extend it. Jonathan Scopes got to hustle it. He does, and gets the outs. You can follow the Orioles wherever you are with MLB.com at bat. #1 app, live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment. In-game highlights, look-ins, replay reviews, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. That'll be it. Outstanding performance for Wei Chen. He goes 6 1/3 innings in the ball game. Can't win it, could lose it, but as usual has given the Orioles a chance to win this ball game.
Great starting performance by Chen. Getting deep into the game, had the breaking ball working. Gregorius going down, but A-Rod down on the high fastball. Another good look here at the slider. Breaking ball was working for Chen today. Better than we've seen it in the past. Good fastball. Here's a look at his pitch arsenal comparison. Good fastball, but there's the breaking ball numbers. Up a little higher today. Go-to pitch. Go-to secondary pitch. 6 1/3 innings. 3 earned runs and 10 hits. Wei Chen. Good look at the moon right there. And Tommy Hunter in out of the Orioles bullpen. The fastball 70%. The power fastball. He can move it around a little bit. 2-seam, 4-seam version. Hard slider to go along with it.
A-Rod stands in, and he'll take the pitch for a strike.
Take a look at Tommy's lines here. A couple wins on the season in 35 games, 4.08 earned run average. Opponent's hitting at 267, giving up 3 long balls. Pretty even distribution between fly ball and ground ball outs.
0-1 delivery outside. A-Rod against Tommy Hunter, career 3 for 11 with 1 home run. Teixeira waiting on deck, 1 down, 7th inning. Orioles have not had the lead in the ball game. They did get it tied up. Now Chen will become a fan. 1 ball, 1 strike count. And that's going to be inside from Hunter. And the count will go to 2-1.
Tommy can 4-seam it up in the mid to high 90s, but he can also 2-seam it, hold that velocity. Not surprised A-Rod with one of those.
And that's going to miss. Tommy Hunter is appearing in his 6th game this year against the Yankees. He's got an 0-1 record, given up 6 runs, 10 hits, and 5 1/3 innings. The Yankees have hit .385 off Hunter this year. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Rodriguez goes after it, perfectly located, and the count's full, 3-2. Good pitch.
Yeah, great movement in there under the hands. Incredible velocity, 97 miles an hour. You got to do a lot of things right to get to a fastball that's thrown that hard with that kind of movement.
3-2, 1 out. Bases are empty. Hunter with a 3-2 delivery. A-Rod will take it. He's on with a walk. Chen did not surrender a walk, as you saw. 2nd game in a row for Wei and Chen, where he did not walk anybody in the 4th game this year. Chen has had without surrendering a free pass. He had back-to-back games earlier against Seattle and Houston where he didn't walk anybody. And now he's had back-to-back games against Washington and the Yankees. Here is Mark Teixeira. Teixeira's strikeout, flied out, and an RBI sac fly. Fastball will be taken inside. 1 on and 1 down. Game delayed 15 minutes. Rain delay that came before we started, the bottom of the 2nd inning. 1-0 lifted to the gap. That's going to fall in. Nobody's going to get that. It'll go all the way to the wall, but A-Rod's got no speed. Relay throw comes in, and he'll be stopped at 3rd. Teixeira, 2nd double, 2 for 4.
Teixeira is covering the baseball. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and this is up in the zone. That's really the only thing that helps him, but it might have worked off the plate and still able to pull that ball in the right center gap. Another extra base hit for Teixeira.
So again, the Yankees have a chance to put a little distance on. McCann coming up will be walked. The intentional pass will be surrendered here to load the bases for Chris Young, who is due up next. Yankees have had opportunities in this ball game, more so than the Orioles, to put a spread in that score sheet, but they haven't been able to do it. They're 1 for 8 runners in scoring position in the game, and they're going to get a shot here with the bases loaded. Chen, of course, not responsible. These are Tommy Hunter's runners with a walk, a double, and another walk, and McCann is on. So at first base open, Buck Showalter decides to put McCann on and force the issue with Young.
Chris Young kind of waiting there on deck circle, thinking he might get pinch hit for in this situation. A couple hits tonight. Manager Joe Girardi saying, ride this wave of confidence. We talked about his incredible numbers off lefties this year. Numbers against righties not so good, down to 178, but Girardi trusts him in this big situation.
He is 2 for 4 off Hunter. Bases loaded, 1 out. Young will take the first pitch, and it's in there for a strike. He's had 3 chances with the sacks full this year, gone 1 for 3, a single. Tommy Hunter looking for a ground ball, shift on in the infield. Scopes playing right behind second base. 0-1 delivery jammed him. Young has had 2 singles and is flied out to left field. Yankees lead it by 1, trying to add to it, bottom of the 7th. And Tommy Hunter looking for that double play ball to get out. 1-1 again inside, 2-1.
Just working that fastball in off the plate a little too much, trying to get Young to swing, maybe hit a weak ground ball to Manny Machado over at third. See the Nissan pitch track, back-to-back fastballs, identical spots after that first pitch slider for strike 1.
2-1 delivery on the way. Young will take it. That is there. So he hit the spot that time. 2-2 and Chris Young.
Yeah, real good movement, bottom of the zone.
Tommy last worked in Detroit on the 17th. 1 inning, 1 hit. Yankees have him loaded. 2-2 count. Delivered to Young. And he stayed right there and got him. So Hunter gets a big strikeout, and Chris Young is retired.
Well, big time performance here by Tommy Hunter in a crucial situation. Bases loaded. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. First pitch slider to Young. Fastball in under the hands. Let's go right back in there. It's the same exact spot. Well, a 2-seam fastball at the bottom of the zone, 97 miles an hour. Why not try it again? Swings right over the top. A couple beautiful pitches to finish Young off.
Now Headley has had an RBI double, another base hit, and he's popped out 2 for 3. Bases loaded, 2 outs. A lot of key moments for Wei and Chen, and now Tommy Hunter in this game because of the number of base runners the Yankees have had. And that's going to be fouled back. Tommy comes right at him and gets ahead of him, 2 strikes. 2 for 4 for Headley against Hunter.
Tommy's been getting great movement on his fastball. He's had a lot of tough luck this year. I have not seen a pitcher give up so many broken bat hits, but here finding himself in a jam and has got to come up with a big pitch.
0-2 delivery on the way. Bounce that one, stopped by Wieters. A-Rod on a 1-out walk at third to share a double at second. McCann the intentional pass at first base.
Great block right there from Matt Wieters. Tommy Hunter throws a very hard slider. It's actually the velocity on it's come up a little bit as the season's gone. He's made some adjustments. We've seen it even up to 90 miles an hour.
1-2 count. Delivery to him, fouled off. So Headley will keep the at-bat alive. Orioles have been out hit 11-6 in the ballgame. Pitchers have been able to shut down the potential big innings. 7 have been left on by the Yankees so far. 5 of the 7 have been in scoring position. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way. Headley down to first. Parmalee's there. And that's going to do it in the inning. So Tommy Hunter works his way out of it. The Yankees will leave the bases loaded. We have completed 7. Yankees lead at 3-2. Rarely do I do this on television. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, come on.
Happy birthday, dear Mikey.
Happy birthday to you. I love it.
Okay, make a wish now.
All right, I got it.
Okay. Whoa,
Nice.
and he did it, too. Happy birthday.
All right, let's hope that 2-run homer comes through. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We spared no expense on those cakes.
All right.
You know, CC Sabathia celebrating her birthday today, too? I didn't know that till the game started. He's 35 today.
Incredible.
Wei and Chen celebrating a birthday today. And a ground ball down to first and foul as our birthday celebration continues here in New York. 8th inning, 3-2 lead. Dylan Betances on. You got the final out, striking out Manny Machado to end that last inning. Brady's had a base hit, 1 for 3, and he scored. A couple of strikeouts in the game. 0-1 pitch on the way. Strike there. Orioles have had RBI for Matt Wieters and a base hit. Hardy an RBI base hit for their 2. A-Rod a sac fly for 1. Headley a double for 1. Brendan Ryan a double for 1 for the Yankees. And a swing and a miss as he buried it and gets it.
A nasty breaking ball there from Betances at 6'8". Creates an incredible angle. A couple good fastballs to get ahead. Finishes Paredes off with a hard slider at the bottom of the zone. Got to gear up for the fastball, and he has such a tight spin. You just cannot pick it up soon enough. There, 1, 2, 3, and you're done.
One away. Adam Jones, 2 singles, a run scored, 5-game hit streak. 2 for 3 in the ball game. Average continues to climb. 295 on the year for him. Adam hitting over 290 against the Yankees this year. Fouls that one back. Orioles have not had the long ball in this ball game. They've had 16 home runs in the past 11 games, including 10 consecutive ball games in which they've had a homer. 0-1 count, 1 away. Jones will take the fastball inside at 99. I've seen a lot of those on the radar gun. Eovaldi was throwing 99 or 100, and now Betances is.
Man, everybody throwing mid to high 90s now.
One ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. Movement frozen.
Yeah, so 99 up under the hands, and then this slider starts off like it's going to be up under the hands as well. And look at that late finish. So a little flinch is all it takes, and that slider drops back down into the zone.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 delivered to Jones in the air to right field. Young is there, and he will put it away. Neither of these teams has lost the ball game when they've had a lead after 8. Yankees are 48-0. The Orioles are 42-0 with a lead after 8 innings. The back end of these bullpens for both teams are very, very good. Ryan Mattis up. Chris Davis. Fastball is there for a strike. 2 down, nobody on. Davis 0 for 3 in the ball game. He is 0 for 6 lifetime off Betances. Goes the other way, foul.
Backdoor sliders there. Betances, the aggressive fastball, almost more command on that slider, I think. I mean, he can locate it where he wants. He'll sweep it off the plate, down and away to the right-handed hitters. A couple backdoor sliders there.
Shattered bat and a base hit into center field. And somehow the barrel of that bat missed Betances. went right over the mound, right by his legs. Base hit Davis.
Yeah, I don't think Betances knew that bat head was coming. Seen Chris Davis pull that exploding bat trick and come up with a base hit here off the label. Betances turns and look at that bat. Landed on the backside of the mound. Almost directly behind him. It missed him in rotation. There it rotates and just goes by his hip. Wow. Unbelievable.
There is the bat. Caleb Joseph with it over there. Oh, gosh. I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher just turn like that and not even know.
Right?
So the Orioles get their 7th hit. Shift is on against Wieters. Wieters has an RBI base hit, a walk, and he is flied out. 2 down. Betances 0 for 1. Wieters rather 0 for 1 off Betances.
There you go. You wonder how you get the major league average at 77. A couple broken bat hits there. Davis under the average, 76.
Had a wrinkle on that one, and it's in there, 0-2. 3-11-0 for the Yankees, 2-7-0 for the Orioles. Yankees have left 5-10 rather. Orioles have left 5. Wieters keeps it alive on a foul ball back.
Well, mistake slider. Haven't seen many, if any, from Betances. That one left up in the zone. Healthy rip. Now Wieters hoping to get another one of those back. See the 3rd pitch. Up almost dead center.
0-2 delivery. Did not go. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Tight ball game, lots of chances. Orioles hope that those chances the Yankees could not take advantage of will come back to haunt them. Orioles had only 1 hit through the first 5 innings and then got 2 runs on 4 hits in the 6th. 1-2. Pitch on the way. Betances a roller towards second. No, he'll cut it off. Whoa! That's the lollipop toss, and it was so slow it almost allowed Wieters to beat it out. But almost doesn't count, does it? He's retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on. The 3-2 Yankees.
On a fastball that Wieters wanted to wait, leaked back over the plate, and he hammers it down the 3rd base line. DIDI Gregorius on first base. He's hustling around, able to score on the Ryan double.
All right, Lexus of Towson, drive of the game. Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer, 5 years running. See why at LexusofTowson.com. 3-2 lead.
Brian Mattis now into the ball game. Look at his pitch arsenal. Fastball 53% of the time. Good breaking ball 31%. And that straight change at 16 of the time. Nice low earned run average for Bryant, 2.43, 33 punch-outs in his 29 2/3 innings of work. Lefty's way down to 148 off Mattis.
And his first pitch will be fouled away. DIDI Gregorius leading it off, 8-9-1. Gregorius a base hit, run scored, 6th inning. What is now the go-ahead run driven in by Ryan on that play you just saw. Brian Mattis, his 5th appearance against the Yankees. 1 run, 2 hits in 5 2/3 innings against the Yankees this year. And that one's going to go the same way and the same result, foul ball. Gregorius 0 for 3 off the Oriole left-hander. 37,993, 37,993 on hand here at the ballpark, and what's been a very pleasant night. Wind has all but died down. It's cooled off 4 or 5 degrees since the 84-degree start. Oh-2 pitch.
Gregorius really expands that outside corner. Brad Brock gets loose in the Orioles pen. Just a couple pitches on that outside corner. Stayed on a slider from Chen that was probably working off the plate for his only base hit of the ball game. See if Brian Mattis and Wieters try to expand here.
Here's the 0-2 delivery. Supplying the third base side fans with plenty of souvenirs. 0-2 count. Andrew Miller, left-hander, back with the Yankees, of course, and in the bullpen. Try it again on the 0-2 delivery, and will just miss. Mattis down low with that one, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Brian trying to hold it right where it is, give the Orioles a chance, top of the 9th inning. Left-hander's 1-2 delivery, and that is going to miss away. Count goes 2-2. 2 good starts in this game. Chen, the Orioles starter, pitcher of record, 3 runs, 10 hits, 6 1/3. The other side, Eovaldi, 2 runs, 4 hits, 5 2/3. He's non-decision. Justin Wilson, the Yankee pitcher of record. Brian Mattis gets him on the strikeout.
Good fastball from Mattis. Nice job. Matt Wieters working well. You see their target area, that outside corner. Finishes them up with 92 on the outer third.
Tommy Hunter worked 2/3 of an inning prior to Mattis coming on. Couple of walks, 1 intentional, 1 hit, and 1 strikeout. Brendan Ryan with that big hit, the double, 2 down, 6th inning. And the pitch down low for a ball. Ryan, the 1 for 3 in the ball game. Coming off the DL, so he only had a couple of at-bats against the Orioles prior to tonight's ball game. 1-0 pitch, and that'll be inside. Orioles Yankees game 2 tomorrow night.
While he was on the DL, the Yankees all shaved off their mustaches, but he didn't. He likes that look.
2-0 count on the way. He has kind of that 1890s ball player mustache, isn't it? I mean, it kind of looks,
yeah,
it's pretty good. Wade Boggs, or Don Mattingly, of more recent vintage. Got that curl on it. Not bad. Here's the 3-0 delivery. He'll take it for a strike. Did you ever grow a mustache?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a good one? Did you like it?
Awesome.
Did you?
I had
Did you
more
curl it up?
Hair on my upper lip than I did on top of my head. I actually have a card with a mustache on it.
And that's going to be there for a strike, 3-2. I would like to acquire one of those if possible. Right. Should you find one laying around the house?
All right, I'll try to bring one out.
That would be a collector's item. 3-2, 1 down. ELLSBURY, top of the order, is on deck. 3-2 delivery on the way and a chopper to second base. Schoop charging. Short hop makes the play. And a good one. Not easy. 2 down.
Jonathan Schoop has had some testers at second base. Tough angles on balls. Well, he was able to get around that one and square up. And when he does, this is how smooth he can be. That ball gets in the glove and it's into the other hand and on to first base in a blink of an eye. Beautiful play from Schoop.
So 2 away, nobody on. You're looking ahead. Hardy, Reimold, Schoop will be due up for the Orioles in the 9th inning. Ellsbury got a double to lead off the Yankee half of the first inning and would come around to score on the Rodriguez sac fly. He'll hit this one to Parmalee at first base, right into the glove. Good job by Brian Mattis. He retires the side in order. We go to the 9th inning. The Orioles need 1 to keep this ball game going. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Yankee Stadium, great ball game. Yankees have the 3-2 lead, trying to extend their division lead to 5 over the Orioles. And the Orioles have 3 outs to work with.
And it's gonna be a tough test here. Andrew Miller, the best closers in the game. Of course, the Orioles familiar with Miller, 2-pitch pitcher, fastball 48% of the time, in that breaking ball 52, and it is a powerful fastball, 92 to 97, 3/4 slot, 20 for 20 in his save opportunities, holding opponents down to a 100 batting average. Righties below 100, lefties all the way up to 150.
And here we go in the 9th. Pitch will miss down low to J.J. Hardy. He's 1 for 3 with a base hit, an RBI, fielder's choice, and a strikeout along the way in the ball game tonight. Andrew Miller in the 9th inning. And a ground ball to third. That is a fair ball. Headley's got to gun it, and does. That was right over the bag.
Andrew Miller, 6'7", free, easy delivery. At one point in his career, actually a starter when he was signed, converted to the bullpen by the Red Sox, but never enough confidence in him to put him at the back end, but found his way and has learned how to harness that fastball and slider combination. Now has become a dominant closer for the Yankees.
Had the muscle strain problem, put him on the DL for a while. They get him back. Strike taken, Nolan Reimold. Reimold 1 for 7 off Miller. 3-2 Yankee lead, top of the 9th inning. 0-1 delivery by the left-hander, foul back. Orioles never have had the lead in the ball game. The Yankees led 2-0 until the 6th inning when the Orioles tied it, and then the Yankees came right back in the bottom half of the 6th inning for what is now the difference in the ball game. Justin Wilson, who came on in relief of Eovaldi, is the pitcher of record for them. Wei and Chen to the Orioles. Miller with the 0-2 count, and will miss outside with it. 1-2. Reimold coming on as a pinch hitter, delivered a base hit leading off the 7th, but was stranded. Orioles leaving 6 on so far, only 2 of those in scoring position. 1-2 pitch on the way. That's going to be to short. Gregorius up, almost stumbled in the dirt. And what a pick! A change maker right there by Teixeira.
Well, Teixeira's done an incredible job for this Yankees infield. Some of the picks he's had to make. Headley and Gregorius have had some throwing problems this year. One of the best in the business. Look at how low he gets. Keeps his eyes on the baseball. The bat up. Brings the glove up perfectly to make a huge pick for the second out.
That'll bring up Jonathan Scope. 0 for 1 off Miller. 2 down in the 9th inning. Gets the strike on him. Yankees trying to take a lead in the season series. They would go 6-5 if they can hang on to the win, and would remain undefeated when they've had a lead after 8. 0-1 pitch on the way. Nasty breaking ball. 0-2.
Well, he'll probably just get nastier here, getting ahead. He looks to bury that slider. He'll double, triple, or 4 times, 5 times in a row if he has to.
That's the ball game. So Miller comes on and stays perfect. 21 out of 21. And a 1-2-3 inning. And the Yankees have won the opener. The Orioles go 12-15 now in 1-run games, while the Yankees are 15-13. 3-11-0 for the Yankees, 2-7-0 for the Orioles. Wilson the winner, Chen the loser, and the save goes to Miller.